Well, what's up, everybody? We are here at the MAGA Fest Leadership Summit in Kinder, Louisiana. I was live earlier, and I have my brother here, Mr. Anthony Hayes from Brothers Just Searching, and uh, I was about to say New Beginning, Coda Homes Fellowship
Yeah.
Church. We I said we was going to come live. We went live earlier on on TikTok, and TikTok we had a good response. And people was telling me, one guy came up and said that he was from Pennsylvania.
What?
And
Yeah.
the guy from Pennsylvania came, and I asked him what was going on in Pennsylvania, and he said a lot of young people are tired of what's going on in the nation, and that's a good
Really?
sign for us, because
Yeah.
in the nation we can go ahead and we can Pennsylvania is a key part for Trump winning the election. So,
Yes.
but
Yes.
but anyway, you're here, Boog.
Yeah. Yeah.
You weren't supposed to be here,
Yeah. It
but
was by divine, maybe divine
divine
accident.
intervention, yeah,
Yeah.
divine
Yeah.
intervention. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, we are live here at the MAGA Fest
Mm-hmm.
Leadership Summit. Had some great interviews too.
Yes. Yes.
You
And
know,
great conversations with
yeah,
a
great
couple of
conversations. Yeah.
people. Yeah.
I'm planning on getting a couple of more interviews. If you are in the live chat, go ahead and tell us where you're from and give us a question. We are live on YouTube, we are live on Facebook, and we are live on Rumble. We
Yeah.
are using Rumble Studios here, and
Mm-hmm.
the Rumble Studios. I didn't know you can do multiple destinations, but
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
let you do it. So anyway,
Yeah.
you're here, Boog. You're here
Yeah.
as an observer. What do you
Uh-huh.
what you think is going on?
Well, I mean, looking at everything, I think people are starting to realize, they gotta stand up for their rights. I was talking to one of the guys earlier, and he's right. You gotta fight for your freedom. You just can't just sit back and and just let people override, no matter how the election turns out. So
Right.
so yeah, you gotta, like the founding fathers said, when they said you gotta keep fighting for your constitutional
Yeah, you
rights.
can't just go ahead and
Yeah,
you can't just go ahead and say, well, it's happening, so we're just
that's
gonna go
it
ahead and
is what
do
it
it.
is.
So it is a little dark. I'm seeing on
Yeah,
Facebook Live right now,
right.
but
Yeah,
we didn't bring no
mhm.
light. That was one of the only thing I didn't
Yeah,
bring was
right,
lights. But
right, right.
in the studio is gonna look up better. So, but we're having a good time here today,
Hmm.
and
Oh
a
yeah.
lot of discussion. So we were talking on the way over here.
Mm,
It's funny, we had two
right.
hour ride here,
Yeah. Hmm.
and you had a lot of questions. You don't hardly come on the podcast,
Right, right, right.
so I want to ask you. You're a Christian, you're an assistant pastor.
Hmm.
What
Right.
what is concerning you right now? Let's get that going. What is concerning you in our nation? What do you think we can do as politically that
Hmm.
can make our country better?
Well, one of the things I think it's good that we should do, and I was hearing a guy, he was talking about business, and he's right. He said, that, we should lower something. We should, I think, what did he say? Something like
Oh,
he
it's
said,
about the you talking about the tax cuts?
yeah,
No
yeah,
more taxes on
yeah,
overtime, and
yeah, yeah. And I like that when he said that, because I was like, wow, is actually somebody's talking about cutting something back. And that's what you got to do. I studied a lot of history, and I watch a lot of videos on history, and I'm really shocked and surprised of how all these empires. I studied about the Persian Empire, the Roman Empire. A lot of things that are going on right now is actually what brought those empires down. Like that guy said at the meeting, he's right at the
yeah,
beginning. Yeah,
Senator
yeah, yeah,
Fisa. I
yeah,
hope I'm
yeah,
saying his name right.
yeah. And he said that how gradually, people were independent, they were doing themselves, and slowly they got, comfortable, and they got where, they didn't fight for their rights, or they, and it came to the point where the empire was ruined. And so like mostly high taxes. People don't realize that every empire that fails because of inflation or high taxes, when they burden the people, where it got so bad where they, the economy crash, or so we're into that point right now where we have to lower taxes. We have to do it where, this greed of, we got to take as much as we can, excuse me, can out of the people. That's not gonna work. History proves it crashes.
Yeah,
It crashes the country. So
yeah, and look, we have that's why we're here today. That's why we're here today to promote the agenda of Donald Trump.
mhm.
And look, Louisiana is really is a state that's gonna go ahead and turn red.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna turn red. We have a lot of support for Donald Trump. The Republicans own the Senate, they own the House here in major majority, and it looks like, our state. And people might be wondering, well, why they're putting this event here in Kinder, Louisiana? Well, because especially the part of Louisiana we're at right now in Kinder, Louisiana, is heavily blue,
Yes, yes,
and you have
yes.
to you have to go ahead
Mm-hmm.
and make sure
Mm.
that that people understand. Look, the nation don't have to stay this way,
Right. No,
and
no, no.
and
There could be a
this
turnaround.
is why we need to vote in November
Mm-hmm.
for the right person. And but we're both Christians, and we both do
Mm-hmm.
political
Mm-hmm.
podcasts
Mm-hmm. Mm.
on the things that are happening in this world today.
Mm-hmm.
We know the end is near.
Oh yes, yes,
We
yes.
know the end is happening, but if my people, which are called by my name, as our dear sister said a while ago, and
Yeah.
we humble ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? We are going to go ahead and make it because we're turning back to God. But if we don't turn back
Right.
to God,
Right.
this nation is doomed. And look, Trump is not a Christian. I've said this multiple times
Right.
on the podcast. I don't believe Trump is a Christian, but Trump took biblical counsel. Trump
Yes.
took leadership, went to the man of God, and he
Mm-hmm.
asked for counsel. He asked for wisdom,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's why our country was doing good, because
Yes.
he went ahead and took the biblical counsel of the men and
Mm-hmm.
women of God. I
Yes.
just we have to go with the platform that as close to biblical as possible.
Well, if you read through the Bible, I mean, there's a lot of kings. Not all the kings were serving God. Some of them actually, even Ahab's son and all them, they took advice from Elijah,
Right,
and Israel was in a bad state. Israel was in idolatry and stuff, and he even took some counsel from the prophet. So, in the Old Testament, when was it Isaiah that influenced Hezekiah, and so it's good when you have godly men that can influence, these men. Like back in the day, Billy Graham, when he was alive, he would talk to the presidents, and I'm hoping he gave them godly counsel,
right.
and I don't know, and I wasn't at the meetings, but it's just to show you that when you look to men of God for guidance, the country went great and the leadership went great when you had true godly men giving them true advice.
Right, right.
So I like that part when Trump did that. Like I said, I don't know if he saved the others between him and God, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, we're live right now. We're just talking to Mr. William Wallace.
yeah,
He's the one of the organizers of
uh-huh,
this event. We're trying to get him on for later on. We might go ahead and
yeah, yeah.
jump on, but if you're in a live chat, please go ahead and tell us, hey, we got two people Rumble showing us,
Oh,
so that's better than none. It's
right,
better than
right,
none.
right,
So
right,
on Facebook just left, so
right,
I don't know what's
right.
going on with Facebook, but
Yeah,
man, no, we're having a good time. Had some
yeah.
good speakers. We're hearing some good
I
things.
even had a Trump hat with the hair on it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
We're gonna have to put it up
I'm
on
gonna.
the thing.
I don't have it on my desktop. I don't have. I'm on my laptop.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
but yeah. Okay, since you're here, I know you have a love for Israel, and normally
yeah.
when we go ahead and talk,
Right, right.
when you come on the show, is about that. And I haven't gotten with you yet.
Yes.
What you think about everything going on with Israel right now?
Well, the little bit what I heard with Israel right now, I really think that Iran has a certain philosophy. They're more radical than other Islamics. They do believe in a certain eschatology or end time events, in their end time events, that they believe that Jesus won't return until all the Jews are destroyed. So I heard that's their philosophy. So it's not just about conquering territory, or yes, they are conquered from Islam, but there's a certain branch of Islam. So people have to realize that, and they're radical about the leaders for sure. And yeah, a lot of propaganda going on. I mean, they still believe all the Jews are in control of everything type thing, and they gotta, like Hitler, they gotta save us from the Jews.
Well,
So
so I got a question to ask you on that.
yeah.
What is your response of the current administration with Israel? Because
Mm,
you know,
yeah.
and I'm trying to be very respectful because we should respect our leaders in
Sure,
office.
sure, sure.
But it's like Biden is doing everything backwards.
Right, right,
And
right.
man, look, I just, I was talking to someone here
Mm-hmm.
earlier, and every time I think of Biden and what he's doing with this,
Right.
he they're gonna call good evil and evil good.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
Biden is out there saying, is basically Israel's at fault some way or
Right.
another. We talked about it this morning on the way over here.
Right.
Israel, some way or another, is at fault for this, and
Mm-hmm.
all Israel's doing is they're trying to protect themselves. They're trying
Right.
to defend their nation. And look, thank God for the allies that went ahead and shot down them 200 ballistic missiles
Oh
the other day.
wow. Wow. Right. Right.
This is something that needs to we need to do. We need to help Israel, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand the current administration. I really
Right,
don't.
right. Well, the thing is, you got to look throughout. I study a lot of history, and really, America. Yeah, we supported Israel and the Jewish community in some ways, but there was times where we didn't fully 100% support them like we should have.
Right.
America went half and half. I'll be honest with you. There's a lot of times in history where we one good thing we did, though, we supported Israel as a nation, so thank God for that. When Israel in 1948, we supported Israel, and it was a Democrat president, at the time, so thank God something was done right. But at the same time, we were not fully supporting Israel 100%. Now,
Yeah.
I'm not saying the Jews can do whatever they want or Israel can do whatever they want, because they're like anyone else. They have a sin nature. But at the same time, I think America's blessed when we support Israel.
Yeah, and it's not happening. It's not
No,
happening right
no.
now,
And I think
unfortunately.
that's
So,
why things are going like they're going, because, God said, I will bless those who bless
yep,
Israel. And history always proves any nation, including our own, every time we attacked Israel, something bad happens financially, or there's something,
yep. So, well, we're gonna go ahead and take a break.
Yeah,
As I see William right there, I might try to get him on,
yeah,
but we'll be
yeah.
back in a little bit. So, please stay tuned.
So with the video.
It's right here. There you go.
Okay, so I'll just. Oh, okay.
All
So
right, guys, we're back, and we're with Mr. Ellis. He is a vendor here, and Mike Calderese, if you're watching this live or later on, you're gonna like this. You're gonna like this. Mr. Ellis is a game creator, and the game he has created is Stop. That offends me.
right, stop.
So
That offends me.
stop. That's offends me. So, Mike Calderese, I know what to get you for Christmas now. So, Ellis, tell us a little bit about the game and how did you come up with it?
Well, I was always looking at the newspaper headlines around the country, and I'm always upset with people who are entitled, who are triggered, who just find offended by really stupid stuff. So it happened around COVID time. I was unemployed, and I had a lot of time on my hands. So I decided to keep a journal of everything that offended me, and I thought this would make a really good card game. So they always say if you're passionate about something, put your money where your mouth is. So I looked into getting the card game made. Well, first of all, I know nothing about getting a card game made, nor does anyone else I know. Second of all, it was COVID, so anybody who's reputable, who would make card games, weren't fully staffed, so they weren't helpful. Only place I could go would be in China, and I didn't want to go out of the
Right.
country for that. So I finally found this really nice card printer out in Florida, because another site that I follow, I got their video, they got their card game made with them. So all the pieces eventually started to work. So I created the entire thing, and got it copyrighted, and basically, I'm trying to do my part, one card, for our country, one card game at a time.
Hey man, and then you show me how it worked. Would you mind to show the audience how the
Sure.
game works?
Well, basically, we have two different types of cards. Can you see them right here?
Yeah, you can see it right here.
These are problematic cards, and if you turn them around, they tell you everything wrong with the country. And on the bottom, it says lose two offended cards, or it might say lose four offended cards, or give somebody your offended cards, and so forth. The idea is you have offended cards with point value system. And the idea is the first person to lose all of their offended cards first wins the game because they're the most offended. I mean, it's not that difficult of a
Yeah.
concept, but the idea is really about the problematic cards. I call it a drinking discussion game.
Okay.
So basically, a bunch of people can gather around the table, and it's really fun to gripe and complain about everything wrong with the country. A lot of people like to just complain and do nothing. I decided to actually do something.
Right.
So that's what I did, stopthatoffendsme.com. We have a website. The game has been online for about 1 year. It's a perfect Christmas gift, election gift. You're upset because your neighbor has the wrong election sign-up gift. And it's a good conversation starter for a lot of people. This is one of my favorite cards. I don't know if you can read it or
Yep.
not.
Well, it's kind of small, but
It's perfectly acceptable to wear the names of criminals on your football helmets, but not those that support God or the military. Lose two offended points. And again, this goes under the hypocrisy section. We have entitlement section. We have emotional distress section, censorship triggered. We even have what's called a snowflake dump card, where you can lose a lot of your cards because of something that really aggravates you. So a lot of this, was just really fun getting all the pieces together. When I first came up with this idea, I had prototypes and I had index cards. Instead of red and blue, I had like those little red dots that you buy at the
Right.
stationery store. And we would write everything down. We would go around the table. Some of the cards worked, some of the cards did not work. And a few months later, when I got it down to how I wanted it, we designed it, and cards came up about a year after the concept. And it was just really nice to see something from the early stages of index cards and newspaper clippings to something very
Wow.
shiny, very professional looking, I might add. It even has a UPC code on the back.
Hey.
So we're official.
So Ellis, to, you, how many hours it took to develop this? Like, did it just come instantly? And you're like, hey, I want to do this, or the process took a little while to get all these cards together? The thoughts.
It did take a while. I mean, first of all, I didn't know that I was going to do a card game. I always write stuff down in my journal, and I think it was New Year's Eve, and I was drinking, and I was just when you drink, a lot of things come to your mind that normally wouldn't, and I was like, this would be a really good card game. I'm like, nah, it wouldn't be a good card game, and I just I made a note of that, and then the next day I thought about it. I'm like, nah, and then after about a week,
It just stayed.
it was just staged. So I knew that this was actually something that meant something. When you're drinking or when you're out, you get a lot of stuff in your mind, and a lot of the stuff comes and goes, and obviously, but after about a week, it kept going. So I decided to make a concept of it, and I wrote down everything that was wrong, and I divided it up into categories. And after a while, it just started fitting into place. It was, I mean, I guess it's like making any kind of board game or any kind of book. You don't know where it's going until you get to the
Right.
end. So I've gotten a lot of good support from a lot of my friends and family. And, I mean, some of them bought it just because I made it. That's
That's a sale. It don't matter. It's a sale.
Christmas time I was able to sell a lot. And, I don't know if I'll make a second card game because it was a lot of work.
Right.
But it's something I'm proud of. It's something I can say if I move on to something else, I can say that this is an accomplishment that that you can't take you
Right.
can't take away from me.
Well, and that's the thing, like a lot of people. I watch the History Channel's Toys That Build America, and the thing that's coming to mind right now is the Slinky. You know, he was an engineer and trying to make springs for the military for, I think it's World War II,
Yeah,
and all of a sudden it fell and it did the little walk, and he designed it, and a lot of people. I don't think he thought kids will still be playing with Slinkies today, and it's a multi-million dollars. So you don't know what this can come into. So for you even stepping up and saying, "Look, I want to do it," that's just showing the American dream. That's showing the American dream that, hey, I can go ahead and do something if I put my heart and soul into it. Now, if you're a millionaire, you gotta let me. You gotta sponsor the show.
absolutely, absolutely.
You
I'm
gotta
I'm
sponsor
not
the
there
show.
yet. My biggest goal is to get one of these card games in the hands of Donald Trump. But right now he's a little busy,
Yeah.
obviously. But that's always been
Just something to unwind at the end of the campaign season, or at the end of when he becomes president, just sitting in the Oval Office, or in the residence area, and, hey, Milani, let's play Stop That Offends Me.
absolutely, absolutely. Well, and like I said on the back, make card games great again,
Hey,
or a game 51% of the country can play, because obviously we know. But again, if you stopthatoffendsme.com, we do sell it. We're selling it here, but we also have it sold on the website, and we can ship it anywhere in this country.
hey, Ellis, thank you for coming on,
I
man. I
appreciate
appreciate it,
that.
and
Thank you.
showing us the great American spirit. So we're gonna go ahead and take another break. We'll be back in a few moments, so please stay tuned. All right, guys. So I am alone right now. We're waiting on someone to come, and I'm having a good time. I'm having a good time, and just meeting. Look, that was amazing. The card game. It was demonstrated to me earlier, and it was real good. Ellis is a real true entrepreneur here in America, and go check a game out. Go ahead and check out megafest24.live. That is the website for this event, and the way it's sounding, they're going to try to do this event almost every year, and hopefully we're part of it as well. Got some great organizations here. We got the Louisiana Republicans Assembly. We had earlier Mr. Kirk from uh, Embassy for Warriors.com, American for Patriots Relief. We've even talked to someone running for Congress, and we're having a good time. If you're in the New Orleans area, you need to come and check us out. And we're just having a good time here. I want to go ahead and bring up, since I'm here, and I'm probably going to talk more about this on Monday. So I do a live show on Saturdays at 8 o'clock. Try to, and then we go ahead and do the show Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 o'clock. I don't want to go ahead and mess up Mike Calderese, so we go ahead and have that time. Hey, we got someone right here. Tom, you ready? How you doing, Tom? Oh, right here is fine, my brother. So I will get to that thought in a second. But Tom, how you doing, my friend? You wanted to speak us here tonight. I think today, huh? Oh wait, one second. Let me. There you go. For people can hear you. There you go.
Hey, there we go. Oh, I can hear myself.
Yeah.
We'll see. I might have been moved to tomorrow, but I could fill in some gaps today.
I got you. I got you. Yeah. So far they haven't let me know. I'm speaking at 5:50 tonight. So, but Tom, you're part of the. I think you're a partnership with American Patriots Relief,
Mhm.
but you also have a shirt that says "Stop Corruption in Family Courts." And we talked a little bit earlier, and we've been passing each other. What are you here for? What's your topic for tonight?
Well, I'm here to represent American Patriot Relief. I feel it's extremely important to honor those who stood up against this government on the day of January 6th. I also think that it's very important that we look at what's happening beyond the January 6th people and look a little bit deeper into what's happening within our country. A lot of it starts with our family. My example is my wife and daughter took a trip to Tennessee, and that trip turned out horrible.
Okay.
Today, we've been fighting to get my stepdaughter, my wife's daughter, biological daughter, back to our home in Colorado. She's been stuck in Tennessee since February 4th of 2023 from an incident that happened out there. And again, this, when you look into the case and you start to kind of peel back the layers of the onion, you see just how awful some of the agencies and the judicial system can be. They lean whatever direction that they want, and they really don't value the family and how important it is to sustain that connection and that family bond. So.
Yeah. So I got a question. You're here with American Patriot Relief.
Yes, sir.
Were you there at the Capitol on January 6th?
So I attended the the speech and went to the Capitol on January 6th. It was an incredible day with a lot of incredible people. It's unfortunate the turn of events that took place on that day and what's still happening today.
Yeah, we had a representative from earlier on the earlier live stream and was telling stories, and I was even telling a story from my good friend Mike Calderese that said, they had a guest on their show, a man that was a veteran, and I don't even think went into the Capitol. It just he was at the wrong place at the wrong time, and you hear all these stories, and look, we get it from the media. The media says, oh, these people were there to have an insurrection. They were traitors. This was the worst thing since World War II. And, a lot of people, they didn't even go ahead and do anything in the Capitol. They just walked in there. And look, again, you can have, you have the videos and all, but most of these people were peaceful. And I have a friend that's left leaning. Me and him was having this argument one day, and he told me, "Oh, Donald Trump went over there to start a riot and to start an insurrection." And I quoted the speech verbatim. I pulled it up from the Washington Post. You have to do that with liberals sometimes. They say,
Yeah.
"Oh, you quoting from Fox News?" No, I'm quoting from your sources. Trump said, "Peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard." Trump wasn't at fault, and there's a lot of things that happened on January 6th. There's videos out there to prove the point. It's sad that our country has gotten to that point, even that we had to have a January 6th incident.
Well,
It looks like it's bubbling up inside of you. So.
it's perspective. We can look at this in a number of different ways. Personally, I look at this as something that had to happen. The tree of liberty, it has to survive, and there's many ways in which it does. And one of those ways is by us as American citizens uniting as one and standing against what it is that we feel is wrong, is tyranny. I think we're experiencing something that I don't think anybody ever thought we'd be here. When you look at the framers and the founders and you think about where they came from, now you look at the people right now, what's different?
Right.
What's different?
Yeah, and our founding fathers, never. They're turning over in their graves. I honestly believe that, and they would be disgusted what has come about to America. And I'm going to say it like this: it is bugs me every time I hear it. I hear people say, "Well, we're a democracy. We're a democracy." The word democracy is not even in the Constitution of the United States. Our founding fathers talked down on democracy. They didn't want a true democracy. They wanted a constitutional republic, a place that is made up of laws that we have to follow. And when I hear that, I hear people say, "Man, we're a democracy." We're even JD Vance, and I like how JD Vance did the other night, but he made that point. And our democracy, we're not a democracy. We are a republic. And again, this is going back to your point. The founding fathers didn't say it. Why should we say it? And like I said, I study a lot with the founding fathers. They would not agree what's going on right now.
No, no, they wouldn't.
They would know. It just
I don't know too many people that would agree that are alive today. With this, I mean, if you look outside of our nation and look at the world of what's going on, we are the beacon, but the world is being affected by what's going on in our republic. And going back to the word democracy, it's up to you and me to constantly replace that word with republic, because that's what they've done with democracy, is they've used that in place of republic. So we need to be vocal in what it is this country's actually founded
on. The founding father said it, though, democracy always leads to tyranny and socialism. And a lot of people would know, they study history. Germany before World War II was a republic. Then it turned to a democracy. And then we had Hitler take over and start a world war. So when you always talk about a democracy, look, we have some form of democracy. We have some form of our voting system. It's not, see, people say, well, the will of the people. It's really the will of the states. The majority of each state decides to send electorates, and then they decide who's going to be the president of the United States. You cannot tell me that we're a true democracy when it's not a national poll. It's not a natural election. We're state elections, and that's where I don't people just don't get the concept. No, we're a democracy because people vote. Yes, people do vote, but at the same time, it's not a true democracy like France is. Macaroni, I guess you can call him Macaroni, made, he was elected and he won with the popular vote. But that's how France does it. And look at the mess France is in. Look at the mess that Canada is in with a parliamentary system. Our system is not perfect, but I think our system is the best. And this is why we need a vote in November for Donald Trump, because if Kamala Harris continues with this democracy, guess what? We're not going to last long as America as we know it.
No, it's as if they've found all the loopholes that they can find in the Constitution to create this whole situation, and that's why it's so important for all of us to come together as people and make sure that these things don't happen through our vote. Our vote is the most. Look, if I got $1 billion and you got 5, when we ante up to that ballot,
We're equal.
we're equal.
Yep.
Doesn't matter how much money I got.
Yep.
And that's what we have to get back to is equal ground. Right now, we're taking it back a little bit at a time. But anybody that's done this for as many years as they have, whether they're a Democrat or a Republican, they're not going to walk away.
No.
This is a life investment for a lot of them.
Yep. So on those grounds, we see. I don't worry about the national polls because the national polls don't mean diddly squat. But the state polls, it's looking like it's going to come down to 3 states: Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. I'm getting reports right now. One of my friends is not there, but a family member is there in Butler, Pennsylvania right now. We know this is where the site was where Donald Trump in his it was his I'm trying to say the right word, attempted assassination on his life. He decided to go back, and if I show you the videos that I was just sent, it is packed. Went on Twitter earlier and packed. Tons of people in Pennsylvania. Did a TikTok live a while ago here, and a young man from Pennsylvania, 19 years old, voting for the first time. He said, Isaac, he said, I was leaning left. By the time I'm 19, my first election, I'm voting for Donald Trump because the country is in a mess. 19 years old, see this. And I asked him, hey, how is things going on in Pennsylvania? And the way he sounded, he said, look, it's very promising. It's very promising. And Tom, we have to go ahead, especially in them states, because we're here in Louisiana. I think you said you're from Colorado. But those states, you need to go vote. You need to go vote. And do you see us taking over at least one of them states to put Donald Trump back into the White House? And if not, do you see another path forward for Donald Trump to win the White House?
Isaac, can I ask you a question?
Sure, go ahead.
What blue state is there?
A blue state?
Yeah.
Oh, there's that blue wall right there. But
what blue state? What state's all blue? All blue.
Not every state.
Right. They're just blue cities.
You're correct on that.
So let's do what we can where we can.
Right.
If you're in a blue city and you happen to be a conservative, strike up a conversation with a stranger. You'd be surprised what they have to say.
Oh, so you talking like that. I saw a show, a little TikTok the other day, and it was a little kid asking her grandmother, hey, who you voting for? Oh, anyone that's a Democrat. So the kid, being a kid now, having an iPad, said this app shows who you align with your candidate. So it's okay, and asked about the border. Oh, we should stop him from going over. And at the end of the video, she said, Grandma, you say you vote for Democrat? Yeah. She said, you lined up more with Trump. And the grandmother did, huh? So, but it's a show, but that's how a lot of people think. Hey, I'm going to vote Democrat no matter what. And when you start looking at the policies, you don't agree nothing with the Democrat Party. You just voted because there's a D behind your name. And you think, hey, we grew up, we may have to have the Democrat Party because we were told that's who we got to vote for, and they were the good guys. This ain't the same party from John F. K.
No, they're not. Another thing that I think a lot of people are overlooking is the illegals that are coming into the country. Yeah, I don't want them here either. I don't. Yeah. I want them to do it the right way. However, here's the caveat. The majority of Hispanic people coming across our border have faith, family as that's their rock, and then work. They don't understand freedom yet. They don't know faith, family, and freedom.
Yeah.
Okay. They're coming here to learn that. Here's the funny thing. I personally feel that from my conversations with the many people in the laboring industry and construction that are Hispanic, they don't like Biden.
No,
they don't like him at all. They may be here illegally, but they're hopeful if they do cast a vote, they're probably going to vote for Trump, but they also hope that maybe they won't be deported or one of their family members won't be deported, and they'll be able to get citizenship legally or the right way, even though they got here the wrong way. And maybe they can bring their family in after working the 5 or 7 year system to become a citizen.
I like what you just said, though. You said you're not against people coming here. You just want them to do it legally. And I agree with, I'm on the same standpoint as you. You should be in this country legally. You know, it takes time to be a citizen of this great country. And if you're here legally, I'm not against legal immigration. But you know, it goes to the same thing with the you if illegal immigrants, you know, the repercussions of it is in Springfield, Ohio right now. You know, Donald Trump started a conversation in that debate, and people are in Springfield, Ohio, showing what happens when the government puts a large number of people in a community and they don't respect our laws, they don't respect our integrity of life. And it's sad where we got to at this country, but men like you and me and families like ours standing up for the truth, exposing lies, and that's what we need to do. And you know, a lot of people say, "Well, of course you're going to say you're at a MAGA fest." Well, yeah, we are, but at the same time, we believe this stuff, and we believe in the vision of America, and we believe that America is worth fighting for.
Yeah. Let me say this: our vision isn't Trump. Trump is the vehicle. Our vision is the people. The people will come together, and we're going to use the presidency the way it's supposed to be used. We're going to use it to our advantage. We're going to take back what is ours, and that's this republic. We're going to do it. I'm going to be a force. You're going to be a force, and we're going to take everybody that we come in contact with. They're going to be our team member, and we're going to fight together. Because I can't do it by myself, and neither can you.
How the United States of America, the united we stand, divided we fall.
Yeah.
And that's something that's a biblical principle that we need to go ahead. We the people stand united. But this is something that we need to do. This is a biblical principle of standing together and fighting for what's right. Tom, if you speak tomorrow, I won't be able to hear you because I won't be here.
It's okay.
But I'll catch the live stream. And thank you for coming on, man. It's a privilege and an honor to meet you. So you came here from Colorado?
I came here from Colorado to take part in this and represent AmericanPatriotRelief.org. If any of you'd like to find out more about that, please go to AmericanPatriotRelief.org. Check out the website, get involved, support a January 6er, support this country.
Yes, sir. Tom, thank you for coming on, man.
Thank you, Isaac.
All right, that was Tom from American Patriot Relief coming out and having a conversation with us. We're about to wrap up this live stream of the afternoon events. We have some real good speakers lined up for this afternoon. It is, 2:30 right now. Former U.S. Senator Age Crow is going to be speaking in a few minutes, and we're going to have a break around 4:15, and then the 5 o'clock hour, 5:50. Yours truly will be speaking. I'll be the first speaker of the line of events. We have someone speaking in an opening speech, and Mr. Clay, one of the organizers, will be here, and he'll be opening up with "God Bless America" and doing an opening speech, and then I will be at 5:50, and John Odell. Cleston Bernard was a friend of the show. He's been on the show. Will be speaking. Elbert Guillory will be here later tonight, and we have a few. Randy Orangeton will be here as well. So we have a lot of good things happening here. We got a lot of good vendors here as well. We're having fun. Me and the co-host of Brothers Just Searching is here. We are on all platforms: YouTube, Facebook, and Rumble. To be honest with you, found out Rumble did this and can put on multiple platforms. So going back to my conversation, what I was giving you on my thought earlier, again, Donald Trump is going to be going to Butler, Pennsylvania, 5 o'clock Central Standard Time here in Louisiana, and he'll be giving a speech. This Butler is the location where the Trump assassination attempt happened. This is where he was shot in the ear, and he is going to go ahead and he's going back there. He promised him to go back. And look, I'm getting videos, I'm getting pictures, I'm seeing on Twitter that, well, X now, tons of people are at this event. And he don't speak until later on tonight. And I look at that as a good sign. I look at that as a good time for Pennsylvania because, I did a live stream on this. I did a video on it as well. I think I did probably was the same thing. I'm trying to remember, excuse me. But yeah, so we had but this is a good sign because when we did the numbers, it came down to Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan. That's the battleground. That blue wall. We need to break that blue wall if we want Donald Trump to win for president of the United States. He Pennsylvania's the best one. Pennsylvania's the best one. There's some people, as a guest said on TikTok earlier, wants fracking. I mean, they want to get rid of fracking, and that is doomed to our country if we would ever end fracking. But this young man that I talked to earlier, he sound promise. He had a lot of it was a lot of promise in the state of Pennsylvania, and I think Pennsylvania is something something we need to push. And again, you saw all these people, and I know it's Butler, Pennsylvania, but all these people that were that are there, they're showing support for President Donald Trump. Um, it is important that they're there to support. And look, Secret Service got the building protected. So I'll picture that earlier. So with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and take a break. We'll see if we can get another guest on. If not, I will come back and we'll wrap this up. And you can go ahead and share it with all your friends. Again, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on Rumble. We're trying to grow the show. Go ahead and tell your friends, tell your family, and let's get this show growing. Let's get this show growing. We are here again at the Mega Fest Leadership Summit in Kinder, Louisiana, having a real good time. All right, everybody. So we're gonna go ahead and end the live stream right now. I'm planning on getting a interview with some of the organizers of the event later on. But I want to thank everybody that watch. You know, we don't have that much people on right now, but if you're watching this later on, go ahead and skip through all the breaks, and we might put it out later on where I edited all the breaks out. But guys, we're gonna have a good time today. Again, I am speaking at 5:50. I'm gonna see if we can share the live stream to that, and pray for me. Pray that the Lord uses me and guides me tonight. I know what I'm talking about, and I feel that's what the Holy Spirit told me to do. So until next time, you be blessed, you be encouraged. We will see you on the next live stream or on the next episode of Hit the Wrong Button. I hit the wrong button of the Isaac Hayes Show. You be blessed, you be encouraged. You have a good one.